another round of philosophy basketball, and there are different axes this thing can move on. So when we're just chunking up or down, you can think of these movements as sort of this way. But as I mentioned, there's a lot of what Bateson referred to as abductive movement as well, and abductive movement is what we would consider sort of lateral shifting. So abduction, if we're doing brilliant metaphor creation, we could be moving this thing around in all different directions. We could be, I think, spinning the ball. We could be passing the ball right and left. If you can think of one end of the court as the up chunk team and the chunk up team, and the other end of the court, down court, is the chunk down team, and all the lateral passing is like where all the brilliant metaphor generation gets done. And then when you sink one, okay, you get a good dunk shot. So that's your metaphor. Okay, so the process of metaphoring, okay, the making of metaphors, the care and feeding of metaphors, does have a lot to do with the lateral shift. And I think these shifts can take place at multiple points on this thing. So, but one of the ways you can do the shift is you can go up. You go up and you look for the frame. So one of the interesting things about metaphors, and why metaphors in many ways have common qualities with beliefs, and also they have the power to soften beliefs. And a metaphor is a really good metaphor is so powerful because it actually is operating in many ways on the same structure that a belief is operating on, but it's doing different things than a belief. It's actually, in a sense, a metaphor is creating a new belief. It's a new mini belief. It's a belief installation. That's what a powerful metaphor is. When you get the metaphor, at that moment the mind has gone up, it has chunked up, it has found the frame, and has come down and come up with a very specific expression or instantiation. It's the same process, and that's why metaphors just have a really good one. It's such an amazing feeling to it. It's kind of like the feeling of discovering a belief. But of course you may have the metaphor itself framed in such a way that it's not just a firm belief, but it follows very, very similar paths. So when you get really good at metaphors, and people are very good at metaphors, people who are good at metaphors are good at installing beliefs. And there are also people who are good at metaphors are very good at uninstalling beliefs because they understand intuitively how that chunk up, chunk down structure works. What they're doing is they're playing real good belief ball. On the chunk down side, we go from a round orange thing to a flat orange thing. Okay, so the flat orange thing here is a book called Made to Stick, Chip and Dan Heath or Heth, and this is really about the art of chunking down. So if you want to be on the chunk down and you want to get some really good insights into how to chunk down well, this will help you with your belief ball. I don't know, I'm still looking for a very good text, something that will help us a lot on the chunking up part, okay? What is an example? What is this an example of? What is this an example of, right? Okay. I don't know. People don't seem to write books like that a lot. There are a lot of advice books and descriptive books on specific action seem to be, giving you very, very specific ways of chunking down. Books on how to think about things, how to philosophize about things, how to see things, the right frame to put things in, seems to be much more on the chunking up side. So that you might say inspirational literature is definitely talking to the sort of the chunking up, like, oh, well, you had it in this frame for a long time, you were asking, we were saying, well, this is an example of that. You say, no, there's another thing that this is an example of. So I've always been, when it comes to human action, very much on the practical advice side. I think all the inspiration in the world and all the reframing in the world is wonderful as far as it works, and it's helpful. But it really doesn't do much until you can say, give me the specific pattern. Give me the specific formula. Give me the specific way of going about this. And if you can also explain this in terms of a larger principle, that's great. But you've got to, Without the specifics, the principle isn't all that good. Without the principle, the specifics don't really know where they belong. So we have to operate both in getting very, very good at our big chunk upper level thinking up there with the frame thinking, and we have to get very, very good with their specification. Most people, I think the problem, if you say what is the problem, is there one great problem in life? Probably the one great problem in life is that most people are operating in that sort of middle gray band of daily bullshit without a whole lot of either very good high quality framing or without a lot of extremely good fine high quality specification. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to get good at all this stuff, and we're going to be masters and billionaires and be loved and have fans on all continents and have an entourage. That's been my great goal in life. I want my posse. I am owed my posse. Life owes me a posse. Where are you? All right, so let's park it and move on.